So thank you for coming
Not at all,
here.
man. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you, that you can make time also.
For me,
I
it's a
understand.
treat actually. I had no idea that I performed for you when you were in college.
Dude,
6 years ago. And
I
then-
know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, see, back, I still remember, like, you were one of the first comics that I actually met.
Okay.
Like properly, and I even picked you up.
Okay.
And even I don't know if I dropped. I even dropped you
I
off.
have no memory. Dude, it's so weird. It's 6 years ago, and it's so weird because like it actually makes me happy, you know,
Yeah.
because I guess this is this living the dream, you know, because I guess it is. Dude, I have no idea that.
So yeah, because like I remember like we this thing when I honestly back then I had no clue you were, but this other friend of mine knew you. Okay, like you and this thing Shanky. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me just go meet him and like we'll go pick him up. It's a new club, this humor club thing that we started back in college. And like, yeah, that's cool. Let me go meet you.
Dude,
pick you
Chunky still
up.
remembers.
Yeah.
I just spoke to him. He remembers. He was the one who asked, like, were they all in uniform? Did they want to start a club? And I was like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
we wanted to. I think at that time we wanted to start a club,
Right.
and we were unsure. Okay, what do we start? Like, what we called it humor club,
Right.
and things like that. So, so we were like, yeah, best thing to do is call a stand up. We called the two of you, and yeah, and then I listened to you. I was like, damn, this guy is amazing. Why is he not on social media?
I am still not on
thinking-
social media. Nothing has changed after 6 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, to the viewers, why don't you tell them, like, how's your journey been? What's the story? Like, I mean, I remember when I was researching about you, I heard that you were in corporate, then you
Yeah.
went to stand-up, and your LinkedIn even says you were a stand-up at Mad Over Digital.
Okay,
So-
that's bad. That in
Yeah.
the sense, that's me. That's how bad I am with social media. I was a senior copywriter with Mad About Digital. It's a marketing agency. Very sweet people.
Okay.
Lovely people.
Yeah.
I was working with them for like 6 months last year. Because stand-up, especially after the pandemic, I mean, it's not like it paid much before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, it was worse for me especially. So I needed a job, and these people were really sweet, and they're like, all right, we'll try you out.
Yeah.
And so I had put that out because I guess that's what you're supposed to do when you're going back into corporate. But I should probably change that. I don't want them to look bad because of me. Yeah, but
Okay.
dude, I'm very bad at social media. Yeah, I'm currently a stand-up. I've always been a stand-up comedian for the last 9 years now.
Okay.
Going to be 9.
Oh wow, going
Yeah.
to be 9.
Going to be 9 years. Yeah,
Shit, okay.
yeah, very soon in like 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, wow. Okay, then like I think we met in your early years. Then.
You met me 2 years in the down the road. Yeah, now it's been another 6 years.
I know. Yeah. So how's it been? Like, I mean, how did you even get into stand-up, and why did you want to do stand-up?
So the first time I saw stand-up was in college.
Okay.
It was Russell Peters. When Russell Peters was going through that boom.
Yeah.
You know, that's when YouTube had just started.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was a couple of years
I know,
after. But,
yeah.
I mean, 2010, 2009, YouTube wasn't like
Uh-huh.
what it is now, you
Yeah.
know. YouTube was the place where I used to go watch Backstreet Boys videos. You know, just because they are the only places that had like
Yeah.
listen to like watch videos on demand. That was so cool. So at that time, one of the guys, like now one of my best friends, but in college, he was one of the guys who introduced me to stand up.
Okay.
Two of them. One guy is called Ruben Simon, another guy called Thomas Punnos. And they showed me Russell Peters because he was blowing up.
Yeah.
Because of some video that went viral on YouTube. So these guys had seen. Because Ruben also, like both of them have like, they're Malayalis, dude. They have people across the world, you know. So some, you're also Malayali. Yeah, so you understand, right?
Yeah.
You sometimes get content from one of your cousins living in, you know, and then they showed it to, I mean, these guys were showing it to a bunch of us in college. And we were laughing our ass off. And I was like, you can do that? That's a job, you know, like just hold a mic, tell jokes.
Yeah.
But I never thought I could do it. Like I didn't even know. I was like, oh, that's probably some white American thing. It's only there in white people countries, you know. So then I finished college. I got a corporate job. I was a business analyst for Nielsen.
Okay.
Nielsen France. Okay. So
yeah.
weirdly enough, I know nothing about marketing. Clearly, I am bad at marketing. Right. But I know French.
Okay. Wow.
Because my grandmother is. She speaks. I mean, she's
So
French.
were you in France or were you
I was
working?
never. I was never in France. I've never left the country.
Okay.
No, but when I was 16, when I was 14, I think, I was even younger. I was like 12. They were like, if you want to continue your like higher education in French, I was till I was 10 years old. French was the only language I could read, write, and speak in.
Oh wow, okay.
It's not wow. It's actually very scary, because afterwards when I came to state board medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't want to leave the country. I'm an only child, and like I told my father also. He's very. My dad is too theatrical. Okay, he's too forward thinking for my own good.
Yeah.
Like when I was 5 years old, he asked me, "Do you want a sister or a brother?" And I said no. So I'm an only child now. Which parent asks?
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So my dad is that kind of a guy. So he asked me, "Do you want to go to France?" And I said no.
Okay.
So I stayed back. So I got this job in Nielsen because I speak French, not because of any other credentials. I was only 19.
What do you study?
I studied French literature. So I studied
How do you
nothing.
get business
I studied
analyst
nothing.
role?
Yeah, I studied nothing. Even when I was in college, I got the gold medal in my first year, second year.
Yeah.
First year or second year, I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
But I studied nothing that year. Like even throughout college, I was studying nothing because I already knew I was just simply going to. I was fucking around.
Yeah.
But I'm very shy as a person, as a kid.
Okay.
Like even now, all of this is just out of shyness.
Okay.
But I got that in college
Uh-huh.
because it was the first time. I was like, oh, there are people who I don't have to like, that I don't know anything about, and they're also cool with it.
Oh.
So we just kept talking, and then
Yeah.
that's how I found out. I guess I was funny.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I'm still funny or not, but
I think you are.
yeah,
Like I
I
remember
guess.
that set that you performed. That
that time, yeah. I hope, man. I don't know. So I got the job because of the French degree, and to be honest, I got the job even before my 6th semester mark sheet had come out.
Okay.
I just applied, and they tested my French out. They did basic math.
But in India, why did they want French? Okay, were you like...
I was outsourced for Nielsen France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was working for the Indian, the offshore thing.
Okay,
I don't know what it's called. So I was on that. I did that for 2 years. Very nice people there too. Some of them to this day, some of my best friends.
Yeah.
And it's actually there that there's this person called Camille. She's French. She's actually French. She's white French. She's kind of like the elder sister I never had.
Oh, okay.
She's always been super supportive, and she's also kind of eccentric like me.
Okay.
In the sense, I don't know, just anxious. At the same time wanting to do good. I mean, I changed. I'm an asshole now, but she's still like that. She's very sweet, and and that's another thing. I was 19 when I joined. All these other people were everyone I was working with are at least 4 years older to me.
Yeah.
I think Kami's 4 years older to me. I don't know, 4, 5. I don't know, but she was the one who was like, "Dude, you're really funny.
Yeah.
You should try stand up." And I was like,
so back in college, you didn't want to try stand up.
I didn't know you could.
No, I mean you saw Russell Peters and everything, and
but he's talking to white people.
Yeah.
I was looking at him at that lucky son of a bitch, that brown guy who betrayed his motherland, who went to foreign land, to become famous,
and he's making jokes on
us, and he's making money, and I'm laughing, but I'm still having that I could never do that, because I was thinking shit, man, I could have gone to France, I could have maybe, but no. So I was. Here's nothing. At work, you're not supposed to use company resources for anything other than work. But as long as the deadlines are met, they'll be like, yeah, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So we used to listen to a lot of music. Me and my friends.
You were not even allowed to listen to music?
No, you can, but we would be on YouTube and just oh man, dude. Yeah. They were really sweet people. Yeah. My manager at the time, Saket, was a gem of a human being. He was very sweet. Great leader also, that dude. He would put up with, and for some reason, everyone in our team were really eccentric. We're all loud, just joking at each other.
Yeah.
And this isn't a corporate office.
Yeah.
But he used to let us do, and he was really fun. So at that time, we used to share a lot of music with each other, me and some of my friends there. And at one point, I guess I just got oversaturated. I was like, I want to see something other than that. So I just YouTubed best stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
The first video was Dave Chappelle killing them softly. I didn't even know who Dave was at that time.
Yeah.
This is Dave Chappelle 4 years before his comeback.
Yeah.
Because he came back only in 2016.
Yeah.
And saw him in 2013, I think.
Okay.
On YouTube. I didn't even watch it. I just clicked it, went back to work.
Yeah.
But the guy was just making me laugh so much.
Yeah.
And because in the beginning, I'm just giggling and chuckling, you know. And then when he does that joke about how I vote based on how I feel, not on the politics.
Yeah.
You know, like when Bill Clinton sees a black baby, he's just like, "Come here, you little baby," mwah, you know. And I cracked up so much. And my manager, the same guy, he's speaking over his queuing like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Gosh, I'm sorry," you know. But after that, I just got addicted. I was just watching stand-up all over the place. And then I started telling jokes, like Eddie Griffin jokes, Eddie Murphy jokes, Chris Rock jokes to my friends at work.
Yeah.
And they'd be laughing. But while they're laughing, once in a while I'd slip in one of my own jokes. Like whatever it is I'm writing. And they would still laugh. And I'd be like, "Hey, goddamn,
validation.
Validation. Oh, maybe I can do this." But I still didn't know stand-up existed in India. And at the time, so there was this girl I had a crush on. Right, at work. So we were all talking, and Kami, my friend, she was like, "Yo, you should do stand-up." And I was like, "Man, stand-up doesn't exist in India." And this girl I had a crush on, for some reason, she was like, "What are you talking about? Do you know who Kanan Gill is?" You know, I was like, "Who's Kanan Gill?" You know, because at that time he had just started putting pretentious movies.
Oh yeah.
He actually hadn't even started when I first checked him out. He had maybe 1 or 2 pretentious movie review videos and 1 side angle camera, phone camera recording of his "Maa Ka Doodh Piya." So like that joke of him doing that joke in B flat, and I saw that and I was like, "Oh, it exists." Oh, I saw Kannan and I was like,
"This is something that I can do.
This is something I can do too." You know, and then I like an idiot, I immediately put my papers down.
Immediately. Without even like trying anything. Like, did you talk to people about it? Like, "Hey, what's this?" Or like, how do you?
I talked to my dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, my parents were extremely unhappy that I was working.
Okay.
That young. They were like, "You have to finish your masters, otherwise no one will give you a girl." They're like, "No one will give you work, girl, but you have to do masters. You know, only then they'll respect you." And I was like, BA itself, I saw that in French I'm learning nothing.
So you're gonna do MA in French?
That's the thing. Yeah, and my mom. You don't mind if I sit like this, right? My mom. Is very competitive. Okay, but she's the breadwinner in the family. Like, she's the one who actually like got me and my dad together. And like, all right, we have to move forward in life. So my mom was the one who was like, "You have to do masters," and I was like, "No, I'm not studying the same thing. I'm going to work. I want to see what work is there for this field."
Did you like business analyst? I mean, the role that you were doing?
First year, yeah.
Okay.
The first year, oh my god, it is so interesting. Because it was like the curtain was raised. I was like, "Oh, this is how the market works. You know, this is why the money is fluctuating, the price is fluctuating and all of that." Very interesting, first year. The second year, I was like, "Oh my god, it's the same thing every week, every month. What the hell?" You know, I couldn't. I was starting to get. So by the second year, but the money was good though. I lucked
and you're
out in
working for France, so I mean, like, it would be better.
For a 19-year-old, I was making way too much. And I was bad at cash management. You know? The first couple of months, I think first 2 months or 3 months only, I sent money back home.
Okay.
But then afterwards, like, Bangalore is the first city that I've been in.
Okay, were you even studying?
I studied in Chennai. No, okay. I studied in Chennai, Loyola.
Okay.
But the thing is, Karaikal, my hometown, is such a small town that growing up it was only like 4 or 5 streets.
Okay.
There was nothing in Karaikal.
But Pondi is close by, right? Like, I mean,
Pondi is 2 hours away.
Yeah. Okay.
Pondi has everything. This is something I do a joke about now.
Okay. What's the joke?
I can't do the joke now, that's not it. But I'll tell you the premise. The joke is about like my hometown and about how it's part of Pondi.
Okay.
But you know, Pondicherry has like 4 union territories underneath it, you know. None of the others get cash. Like, Pondi just sits on all. It's like a property dispute where the eldest son gets everything. And everyone else is like, yo, you know. At least that's how it used to be. Like now they've actually started an NIT in Karaikal, and they started a JIPMA. It's a medical, it's a prestigious medical institute. They started that specialization thing in Karaikal. But in both, they still have the name Pondi though. You know, like, you know, it's a. I'm like, yo, what the hell, dude? Give us some identity.
So that's how you're selling it, right? They're selling it by using Pondi as a tag.
And Pondi is way more cosmopolitan than even. Actually, no, Pondi. Pondi was bigger than Karaikal, and I have family there, friends there, so I'd go there once in a while to go see. But I had no roots there, and it's not a city. Like the French town is proper. And then the surrounding area is good, but then as it kept growing, it just like it's more Tamil Nadu than Pondi. And there is no border now. Even Karaikal, like, dude, we have a population problem, man. We are across. Like, I don't even understand why we have state border lines now. It's just we are everywhere. But so when I came to Chennai, I was like, oh, Chennai is the city. I was, oh my god, wow, Chennai, you know. Then I came to Bangalore and I was like, oh my god, what have I been missing out on, you know, because everyone in Bangalore grew up in Bangalore. It was a completely different thing that I could even relate. I can't relate to most city dwellers.
Okay, what do you
At
mean?
least growing up, like in the sense, most of their stories about their kids, you know, in school they were going in their bikes and they're like, they went from this town to that town, they're drinking, and I'm like, dude, my hometown. If anybody sees me, they're like, hey, Sudan, die. Like, I'll tell your mom. And I'm like, oh shit. You know? So yeah, Sudan is my Tamil name. By the way. I mean, it's my last name. Not my last name. It's my second middle name. Yeah.
Okay, and another thing, like, why do you change your name? I remember you used to say Kjeld, Kjeld.
It is still Kjeld officially.
Like, and you change that for social media.
Only for social media, so that people can at least find me. Because man, nobody can find me. I don't know why. It's happened to me so many times where, and I have proof for this. There are other comedians to back me up. Where after the show, audiences will come and they'll be like, "Do you have videos? You said you had videos online. How do I find you?" And I tell them, okay, Kjeld. Kjeld. And they would search, and I would not show up.
What?
I don't know. Like, it was so weird, and I was showing Shanky also. And this happened most of the times around 2018, 2019 when I was putting out videos. So I don't know. I guess there's another comic called Ravi.
Okay.
Ravi Rao. He's also in marketing. He told me, no one can even like pronounce your name. You know, even people like your jokes. They're like, you know, how will they tell your name to other people? Like, so he was like, just put Kjeld. And I said, all right, I'll put Kjeld. And I did. Still hasn't worked. You know? So now I'm looking at Ravi, and Ravi is like, bro, I didn't do anything. I don't know. Go back. So yeah, I changed it to Kjeld just so at least people can like find me. I don't know.
So after this thing was that, I mean, when you were in Nielsen or this thing?
Yeah. So my parents wanted me to go study abroad. And we didn't have the money. But I don't know where my mom got this confidence. He's like, no, you will go outside somewhere. You have to go study. Masters you have to do. And I was like, so the fall semester, apparently they have, for them it starts in fall. So I had like 6 months, 8 months where I had applied, and I was applying, like JNU accepted in Delhi, but I didn't want, like, I was like, man, I don't want to do master itself. I wrote the JNU one only because my mom wanted me
Again in French or like?
In French.
Okay, you're going, okay.
And I was like, if I'm going to study now, I'm going to study either mass communication or something else. I don't want to do literature anymore. So my parents were like, okay. But they wanted me to, my mother wanted me to go abroad though. She's like, with your French, you need to network, you need to find, only then you'll move forward in life. And I'm not that kind of guy, you know, I'm very lazy and anxious and shy. But so I had 6-7 months. So at that time I just used this as an excuse. I said, listen, the 6-7 months I'm going to do stand-up comedy. If I like it, I'm going to stay back. I'm not going abroad to study. If I'm good at it. If I'm not good at it, I'll go abroad, I'll study. Weirdly enough, I was decent. I was decent enough to be like, I'm gonna stay back. I'm gonna stay back.
Yeah.
I wanna do comedy.
And what do your parents say then?
My mom was heartbroken.
Okay.
She did not understand at all. Now, it's like so weird. After like maybe 8-9 years now, it's like I broke my heart. My mom's heart so much by doing comedy. My mom now is like, tell me now, what is the stand? I like you. We're funny. You know, because she sees that I'm stressed out. That like career-wise, it's not going forward that much. But it's like now she's become a fan. So yeah, I guess there's growth. My dad has always been chill. My dad has always been like, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing, you're fine. But plan. Like in the beginning, he wasn't saying that. But now I'm 30 and my mom every day is like, when are you getting married? Okay. And I'm like, I don't want to get married. And my mom was like, are you telling your mother she will never be a grandmother? And I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
the emotional thing comes
oh
out.
my God, what a guilt trip. My mom, also she's Catholic. we're really good at the guilt trip, So
that's how it happened. I mean, okay, and so, I mean, we went through this also. So why do you, like you mentioned, like last time when we spoke back in 2016, you mentioned you were not on social media, you were not even planning to, or like you were not sure if you wanted to. Like, then why did you transition? Like, why did you get into social
Because
media?
I have to.
Yeah. And like, that's another question that I had. Like, I mean, can you become a successful comedian without a social media presence?
Not in India.
No?
Not in India. The scene is too new. Like in America, there are a lot of great comics that they do have content out there, but they're not moving forward only because they're like, no, I'm happy with this. I get paid for the shows I do, and they're fine. We don't get paid. Most of the mics, like audiences think that just because they buy tickets, the money is coming straight to us.
Okay.
That's true only for famous comedians.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is just the one guy who's gonna take all the money because he's the one guy.
Yeah.
And he books auditoriums.
Yeah.
He or she, they book auditoriums.
Yeah.
But most comics in Bangalore, except Shanky, and God bless him, he's the only one who got fame and then decided to stay back in Bangalore.
Yeah. Most of the people don't.
Most of the people don't. Yeah, because Bangalore doesn't have enough networking opportunities for personal career growth. I stay back, Shanky stays back because I personally, it's my opinion, but I think Bangalore is the toughest comedy circuit in the country.
But do you think there are more opportunities for growth in Bangalore? Because like, I mean, the reason why people leave is because like Bollywood or like say OTT and all those things, and everybody, all the like who's who is in Bangalore, right?
In
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you think? Like, I mean, then why don't you or Shanky, like, why don't you guys want to move then?
Because as tempting as it is, the glitz, the glamour, we are both very small town, shy, insecure dudes who are like, no, comedy is enough. Like, I'll make you laugh. Give me a mic, I'll keep making you laugh, and then enough. Just give me money. Like. But then I realize now that's not enough. Like as I grew older, also I'm like, oh shit. Family, my parents are getting old, I have to take care of them.
Is that why you didn't want to do Comicstan as well? Like, I mean, like you mentioned, like when we off this,
Comicstan I just didn't want to do because it's just not me, man.
Not even now. Like now, if there's an opportunity to do something like that,
no.
What are your thoughts?
I know it's just not me. I have nothing against it.
Yeah.
I have nothing against anybody on it. I really don't.
Yeah.
Shanky, is my best friend in comedy, and he was on it. It's just not me. Like they give a time limit of 3 minutes, the 4 minutes. I have no joke that fits that thing, and because all my jokes are like very conversational.
Yeah.
Because that's how I write it. And this is something I've been told. Apparently, I'm a tangential conversationalist.
What do you mean?
Apparently, like even normal conversation, I'll start talking about one thing, and then before finishing that point, I'll branch off into another story, and then I'll branch off into another story. I'll eventually come to the main point, but I'll just keep branching off. I realized I did that even now. That's why I paused because I was telling you about like how my father asked me if I wanted a brother or sister, And I was like, why am I telling that to him now? Like my therapist tells me I have to set boundaries. Apparently I have no boundaries. Yeah. I'm working on it.
I mean, like, you can quote an example of like a famous stand-up comedian like who's done that and he's made money, right? Like, I mean, Norm.
Norm is,
when people tell you about
but
such
Norm
things,
also makes me furious.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I understand because the motherfucker put only 2 specials, right? And the third one he recorded before dying.
Yeah.
Dude, what a heartbreak, man. No, honestly, Norm, like that was also a death of a dream.
Yeah.
You know, where I was like, I genuinely had this dream.
But that was sad, right? It's not like he wanted to do more. I mean, you could see that. You could see that in him. He wanted to do more, but like by the time he got to do more, it was too late.
That's the thing. I don't even know how that guy gets that kind of like. Too late
even
thing.
when he was sick, he was like.
He told nobody. Yeah. At Nerd Writer on YouTube,
Yeah.
the YouTube channel Nerd Writer, he has a video on Norm where he says, and it's the best analogy I've ever heard for Norm. Have you seen The Prestige?
Yeah.
The Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
The Chinese guy who has the fish bowl between his feet. That's the secret of his trick.
Okay.
He's always in character, you know. And then Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are like, oh, that's the secret. He's always in character. Norm is that guy, man.
Yeah, he's
and
always in character.
Always in character.
Yeah.
And I get pissed because now, like, when he's dead, I want to see more, you know. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you record all those sets?
Yeah.
He apparently is the kind of guy who just used to write hours and then be like, yeah, not good enough.
Apparently, like I was listening some interview about him, and they were like, he has 3,000 hours worth of content.
Yeah, the guy did. Yeah. Have you seen him on the Mike Tyson animated show? He plays a pigeon.
I have not watched it, but I know about it.
It's funny. It's very politically incorrect. Very politically incorrect. Oh, but dude, but Norm was I remember when Norm died that night. Within an hour and a half of his death, Shanky and I were like talking for hours at night. We're like, man, dude, Norm is dead, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Norm, and Norm doesn't like give a fuck about us. Nobody, we are nobodies, okay? But we both are like, but Norm for us was our hero, you know, and one of our heroes. But still, like, but most of my heroes are now dead. I'm praying for Bilbo. I'm like, please, another 30 years, let me open for him once, please. And,
So, I mean, like, okay, coming back to this thing. So, since we spoke about Norm, since we spoke about, like, the tangential conversationalist that you are, so why don't you break down, like, what's your creative process? Like, how do you come up with ideas, like, for your set, and how do you know a set is a solid set?
I never, actually no. I have known like, but in like 8 years, I think only like 3 jokes I've ever felt like I finished writing. Okay. That I was like, okay, this is the best I can do with this joke. Done.
How did that even happen? Like, how do you even start? Like, what's your process like? How does this even happen?
It's so weird, man. Like the first 1 hour I wrote, 1 hour of material I wrote, I was just waiting for something funny that I will think of. Write that, make that joke better, and then wait for some other thought. It's like I was just building like Legos, and I hit that 1 hour, and I was like, hey, I have 1 hour. The second 1 hour was the hard one because I'm like,
you build on top of that.
Because I'm like, oh, I've thrown away all the jokes that came to me. Now I'm asked to write more. I'm like, what do I talk about? I have nothing left to talk about. So that hour was hard, like in the sense that's when I mean that's I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer your question.
How do you like say you are writing a material, like how do you even like start, like what's your process, and then like what do you do, how do you refine it, and when do you know it's like when do you test it, and then after when do you know like this is good enough to keep it in my set?
I really wish there was a process.
Okay.
I there's no process.
Okay.
I'm still a rookie in that sense. Like I've become professional. I'm playing pro, but I'm still a rookie in that sense. Like I still have pretty much the same thing. Like I'll not wait. I don't know. Like I'll be thinking about something. I obsess a lot. I overthink a lot. And sometimes I'll just be overthinking about something so much, like that thing breaks in my head.
What do you mean?
Like I'll tell you a joke. This is a joke. This is one of the 3 jokes I think that I wrote, and I was like, I'm happy with this. This is enough for this joke. It's a joke where I say I don't know what women find attractive in men physically. Okay. Because every time I ask my friends, what do you like in a guy? They only tell me adjectives. Okay. You know, like funny, confident, reliable. They're fucking adjectives. Right? Anybody can do adjectives, but not anybody can. No, that has to be. No, tell the truth. No, because you ask any guy what he finds attractive in women, dude, men will critically break down the aesthetics of the female body. You know, like you can ask me. I'll be honest. I'm doing the joke now. But the joke how I ended is like you can ask me. I'll be honest. Like, no, I don't know if it's the Tamil in me. But I like women who are just chubby enough that if you flick their belly, it jiggles. Right? That jiggle for me is like, oh my god, you know? So, and then I end that part of the joke by saying, like, have you been to Nandi Hills? Yeah. Have you seen sunrise at Nandi Hills?
No, I've not seen sunrise, but when I went there, like, I mean, because of traffic, I couldn't reach there by the sunrise.
Yeah, but you saw the beautiful view from there, no? Yeah. Nothing compared to that belly jiggle. Right, that's... Now, this is the written joke. But this was basically one of the things where I'm an extremely insecure guy. Like, to this day. Okay, now I got 1 or 2 answers, but like, until I wrote that joke, I really had no idea what women found attractive in men. Okay? Like, physically, like, what are you looking for? You know? So I didn't know. And I was just obsessing about it so much. I was so insecure that at one point I guess I just started laughing. You know, it's like, hey, there's a joke here. You know, it's like I made myself laugh. And then I tried to find out why I made myself laugh. That's the process.
Got it. So like you take a thought about like something that you are curious about, and then you obsess over it, like compulsively.
I didn't choose the obsession.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you end up obsessing over it compulsively, and when you obsess over it compulsively, you'll be like, okay, there's something in here. And then you find that something. Right? And then, like, how do you test it and realize, okay, this is good, this is not good? Like,
open mics. Open mics. I actually, to be honest, now this question is the answer to the previous question. Okay. There is no process that I have. I'm still a very... oh my god, I feel this kind of dude. But the real place is the stage. The stage is the only teacher, man. It's the only, your process, everything. Because when you eat shit, you know, with a joke that you think you're like, I wrote this, this is great. And then nobody laughs. It's like, it's drowning, but it's not drowning. It's like that story of the rats in the curd, in the bucket of milk. There were 2 rabbits or 2 mouse or 2 rats, I don't know what or 2 frog, I don't know what the animal was, but there are 2 of them, and one of them was just like, oh, I'm drowning, and it died. The other one was drowning, but it's like, I'm not dying here. It just kept like crashing around so much for so long that the milk just curdled up into curd, and this guy had like a platform and he jumped out. Right, and I think that's every joke I've ever written. I think that's every joke.
That's the thing, right? Like, I've heard that, like, I mean, that's a test of a true stand-up. Like, I mean, when nobody's laughing and it's like silent over there. And I heard, like, let's just talk about Norm, like, where people say that he thrives on the silence. He loves it when his jokes bomb.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, that's what people say.
They say people are stupid.
I'm like, bullshit.
Which comic loves a bomb? That's bullshit. All comics are afraid of bombing, okay? They're like, oh my god, is today the last day I will be funny? That's how we're walking around. Dude, it is... I keep telling this to Shanky and to a lot of my friends, but man, if I know for a fact that I've already written my best joke, I'm quitting, bro. I'm like, yo, what's the, like, I mean, I'm saying that I don't think I'll quit, but I don't think I'll quit. It's too addictive, but it's scary. It's one of my biggest fears, knowing that my best is already behind me.
But again, that's differs from perspective to perspective. Right?
It
Like,
does.
I mean, a
It
best
does.
to someone might be like an average to another.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
Mhm. I mean, if you think about it, like that's why Dave Chappelle is still out there, like killing it. Like, I mean, to us, he's like, oh fuck, that's amazing. To him, it's like, okay, this is just another joke. Like, I can write something better and better.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he's also that now that cocky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
he's like, I know I'm gonna kill it. I know I'll be.
I'm a genius. Like he has that. Even in equanimity, he says that I can't use the N word, but the way he does it, like I'm dope. It's just but God damn,
Oh,
that kind of the attitude is insane, but it's like so new.
Yeah, I know.
Like
damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, talk to me about this. Like, what do you do when you run out of ideas? When you have a creative block, as such, what do you do then?
I don't know. Take a break. Take a break. I've also realized that one of my biggest problems is like I'm so anxious that it's stupid. I'm only anxious because I compare myself to others.
Okay.
All the time. And that's not healthy.
Of course.
Because like you said, there's always going to be someone who's like either funnier than you or like different than you, has a different perspective from you. He could be a genius and find you unfunny. But just because that one person doesn't find you funny and they prefer Shanky, disgusting, but they prefer Shanky, doesn't mean like I have to be like, oh, I can't. That's possible, So
different styles, different people.
Yeah, so you shouldn't compare yourself. I think if you feel you've run out of ideas, take a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I think you should just take a break. When I say break, genuine break. Don't be in bed just like ice cream. Or even that is actually a break. To be honest, that has also worked for me. I've written jokes like that also. Or go meet friends, go on a trip.
But just stay away from like thinking about it or like doing that or like obsessing over it. Is that?
Yeah.
Or does it always run behind your head, like back in this thing somewhere, and then it just clicks randomly when you're doing something else? Like, does that ever happen to you?
It's a lot like constipation, actually. Like the more you're like, nothing is happening, and then you're like, and then like, and then there's a release, but this is why I'm not famous, guys. It's cool. I think, for some reason, that whole like not trying and then you do it.
I mean, I'm just like taking it from the constipation thing. Medicines help constipation. Do medicines help you? I mean,
no. I
like there are a lot of creative individuals who say that.
I did really think that though. Like in the sense, this was a while back, but for medical purposes, I was not supposed to smoke pot.
Okay.
And I was supposed to completely go off.
Yeah.
And that scared me because I was like, oh my God, is that how I wrote anything I wrote? Because that's the fear that was there. But it's actually not true, man. Because
does it make you creative? Like,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Man, because now when I think about, that's the thing. Okay, as you get over a paranoia, it's only after you get over the paranoia and you look back at your life and you're like, oh, that was so stupid. I was afraid of. Because, dude, if it is really a medicine that will help you. I mean, it does have medical purposes apparently, but I'm saying if you think that's the only thing that's helping you create, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because also if that is true, then every street in Bangalore will have like fucking 4 comedians, 3 painters, like a couple of influencers, rappers. It doesn't. I think it's just.
Got it. Yeah. So I mean, like, okay, let's talk about.
It's an escape, guys. It's an escape. You'll be in therapy. No.
Let's go back to like a good set and everything that we spoke about. How do you break down a good joke? Like, what are the parts, or like, what do you think? Like, are there anything?
I think that's very subjective. I think that varies from person to person.
What about for you? Like, let's talk about you.
I guess comics are too spoiled.
Okay.
Because we've seen the best. Like, and that's also why the most promising comics in Bangalore, their material on YouTube is also the best, probably the best in the country.
They only release the best ones.
Yeah, but they also take more time.
Yeah.
Because they're also like, even if they're like 80% good, they're like, man, it's not good enough. I used to have that. I no longer have that because I'm broke. And I'm like, man, I have to put out content. It's kind of like a handicap match now, a little bit, for me at least. Purely because bad business decisions. I'm very bad at like, but they also figure for the market.
Okay.
And they write.
So understanding your target audience.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. But I don't.
Okay.
I forgot what was the question again?
Like how do you break down a good joke?
Yeah. These comics are spoiled because we see the best. There are metrics like laughter per minute, the insight in the premise.
All those things?
Yeah. There's a whole bunch. It's like how many tags you have. Like once you have the punchline, that's the big laugh.
Yeah.
And then if every line after that gets a laugh on top of that, those are the tags. And they're like, because they're building on the laugh.
Wow.
There's a comedy documentary, where a comic called Tommy Davidson, I think. He was in Living Color with Jim Carrey and all that. Black comic. Very funny guy. Yeah. He says stand-up is like surfing.
Okay.
You know, it's like you swim out into the ocean, then you wait for a wave, and then you ride that wave.
Yeah.
And it's like how long you keep riding that wave, that's how good a comic you are.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the best way to explain, to answer your question, which is like, what is a good set? But for normal audiences, I understand that is completely different.
Yeah.
Because in stand-up in India is very new, dude. Most of our audiences are...
Even now it's very new?
Now, it's very... Indian audiences are very underexposed. At least the ones who come to the shows. All the Indians I've met who have the exposure don't come for comedy shows, and I call them out on their bullshit. Like because dude, I am bad at that networking thing, but Shanky is good. Okay, and he'll sometimes just take me along to these places and be like, yo man, just like hang around. Okay, and I'll just like make people laugh, you know. And I used to shit on people I met there because they'll be like, hey, you guys are really funny. And I'm like, yeah, and you guys would know that if you actually came for the shows, you know. But you don't come because you think Indian comedy is shit.
Yeah.
And they will laugh and agree.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, I think Indian comedy is shit. And then I have to go back to them and be like, how are we supposed to get better if you don't come and we disappoint you?
Yeah.
The comedy is a very symbiotic thing,
course,
you know, like.
Of course, yeah.
So I do think Indian audiences are a little like underexposed.
Yeah. So and like. Just this thing with taking your point about those analytical stuff and things, how do you do you think they're useful? Because like I mean it's like again like I remember I watch a lot of basketball stuff also, and then when you see like these vets talking about analytics, and they say like I mean 90s the sing players, they're like all these analytics are bullshit, you need to know the sport, you need to know how to play and things like that. Do you think in the same way in comedy, or do you think like these analytics and all these numbers and shit, like all these things also like...
I think they're both two sides of the same coin, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
do you like look at all these things? I mean, laugh per minute and all...
Only when I compare myself.
Okay.
It's actually, for some reason, it's when I'm really insecure about a joke, that's when I really go through the stats.
Okay.
Where I'm like... yeah, this joke doesn't have enough tags, the punchline is weak, where like, why am I even saying the setup is too long, word economy is shit. That's the thing, by the way, word economy.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, just like how many words you use, like it's shit.
Yeah.
And I hate myself. It's only when I'm insecure.
Yeah.
But for some reason, as I keep focusing on the problems, if I slowly keep at least fixing them, when the joke is closer to completion, that's when I stop giving a fuck about the metrics.
Yeah.
And that's when for some reason the confidence in the joke also comes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it's shit, don't follow the metrics, but I'm also going to say it's
trust
not
your
everything.
Gut as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, trust your gut as well. Like it's not everything. Yeah. But then that's just my perspective. I know, like most of the Bangalore guys, they're very by the book.
Yeah.
Their metrics are like fucking on point, and they treat it like in a very corporate sense.
I mean, they're coming from that background as well.
From that background as well. And to be honest, like professionally and artistically, right now they're doing really well. And I'm very jealous, you bastards. But yeah.
So, okay, so talk to me about like these shows and everything. Like, I'm sure you would have handled hecklers, you would have seen hecklers. Like, how do you handle hecklers? Like, what do you do when you do this thing? I know there are some comics who use them as a butt of their jokes.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, no?
I don't do that. I don't like. I mean, I wrote. I worked my ass off on these jokes. Tell me whether it's funny or not. Okay, I don't want to fucking talk to you. I don't want, But if you do talk, and then it depends on the type of heckler. Like there are some people who are just like they're there with their girl, or they're there with a girl that they're trying to impress, or they've seen a girl in the crowd that they want to show I'm the alpha too.
Yeah.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
And those guys, I enjoy thrashing. And sometimes in a very mean way. I that I'm not proud of. That I'm not proud of. But I have said some
I
mean
enjoyed
shit.
thrashing, but I'm not proud of it. Okay.
No, like no, it's like how you do it also. Like there are some comics, like I think Anand Ratnam.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Like he's really good at using their own dumbness back at them. I used to be really good at that, but then I got bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, like comedy career is going nowhere, so now I'm being mean.
Yeah.
So I'm stopping myself. But there are, but I, if I'm in a good mood, then I'll also like, But there are some hecklers.
Yeah.
These are the worst also.
Okay.
Where they're nice people, they're participating.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, I also. And I'm like, dude, just, I'm about to come to my punchline. Just relax. And those guys, I never shit on. Purely because I see the innocence in their face. It's like the second time they're there. And they're like, I'm also. And I'm like, dude, relax. I'm the professional, let me do my job. Wait for it, yeah. Yeah, you just have to handle them, dude. Like, but yeah. It's part of the job. I don't think some of my favorite comics like Sam Morrill and Joe List, Mark Normand, those guys, I've seen their video compilations. They still get heckled, and I'm like, dude, those are guys who are now like really they're moving up they're the next generation of future veterans, who are also obsessed with comedy and they're working, and they're getting heckled 16, 17 years into the game. And I'm like, who am I to complain? Like, makes sense. Yeah.
And have you ever forgotten a set? Like, I mean, what do? Do you improv? And like, how do you, like, what's your prep? This thing, the way you prep especially, or do you like, I mean, just make up jokes on the fly? Like,
I write jokes before, and then I come on stage and I do them. But there have been times where I've forgotten what the next joke is. But I also have now, especially, enough jokes that like I can always pull something out of nowhere and just be like,
What do you think about improv then? Like, I mean, have you done it before? Are you into it?
I'm not particularly into improv, but I do think it is an art form, and here's the thing, I've seen enough videos on YouTube to know that the discipline that they have is beyond me. Okay, like change like
I forgot that show, like, I mean, in which that guy from 2.5 Men is there. Whose line is there? I
but
just binge on
even
that.
That is actually like commercial improv. There are like so many subvariants of like improv, not subvariants, variations, sorry. The fucking COVID lingo is now like seeping into it's not a subvariant, sorry, so I don't mean any offense, improvisers, but there are so many different schools of doing it, and I've seen that, and I have too much trust issues to do improv, so I'm not a fan of improv. But it's great on its own. It's
Okay, and
I think it's the same way Indians look at golf.
Okay.
It's too rich. It's only for rich people. So we'll be like, I'm sure there is like Tiger Woods is great. But I don't get it. Why?
I think even in the US, like, it's a rich sport, right?
Yeah, it's a rich sport, but it's also here, dude, in Bangalore. And I see the water in the morning, the spray going. I'm like, motherfuckers! I thought Bangalore is going through a water crisis.
So, and what are your takes on like sensitive topics like politics, religion, and controversial humor with like all these cancel culture going on and people like just waiting for the opportunity to like pounce on you? Like, what's your take on that?
I was very paranoid about cancel culture But I was paranoid about it only because in my head I had this desire, dream to be like, oh, I want a jacuzzi, I want to be famous, I want my wife should be like just a trophy wife, and that was like way younger. I mean, actually, when I say younger, 2 weeks ago. But but that's when I was really paranoid about it. But I realized, man, don't, as long cancel actually hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense, you are no longer as famous, you no longer have the goodwill of the fan base you had, but you're still allowed to do whatever you want. And as long as that is true, and that's the worst it can get, I'm happy. Like, in the sense, I'm not going to, which comedian writes to willingly hurt someone's feelings? I don't do that shit. I just want to be funny.
But then there are people who write like about the political jokes and everything, right?
Yeah.
Those are like people do take offense, especially in the
those guys have balls. I don't. I'm a pussy. You know, I am. I have, but that is also scary. To the fact that they might get killed or hurt or thrown in jail. And they have, and it's fucking scary. And that's a problem. It's so weird that when I was a kid, I had so many opportunities to leave the country. I said no, and I never gave a fuck about it. Now I'm reaching 30. I see kids younger than me, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, up to the 25, even later than that, but people younger than me running out of the country. You know? And I'm like, why did I feel guilty again as a kid, you know? But I stayed back, so where's my medal? I'm not getting a medal. No, I'm not getting a medal for staying back either. But then the kind of comedy I do also, dude, this really hurt me once. This also very recently. I have a joke about like me being Tamil, and for some reason some people got offended, and this too, it was like my family members. They're like, oh, how can you make fun of Tamilians like that? I'm like, I'm not making fun of Tamilians, I'm making fun of us. Me too. I'm saying this is just how we are. Oh, when I said I like belly jiggles because I'm a Tamilian, you guys are like, whoa, great. And then when I point out one of our flaws, where is this sudden, shouldn't we be mature enough to be like, yo man, we have the, what, do you think your joke is going to hurt? Yeah, we are like that, you know. That's the kind of thing I grew up under. That's the kind of thing that I wanted to be like, yo, your jokes won't be like that. And there are some nice, like there's Naveen Kumar, he's also Tamil comic, Chennai, born, pure bred, the Chennai boy, okay? He has jokes like that, where he's like, whenever North Indians come and tell me, you are Kala Madrasi, I am like, you are correct. I am black and I am a Madrasi. Like, what do you want from that, you know? Like, oh, I'm good at math. Like, and that's a good joke, you know? And like, even Gautam Govindan, he's a Malayali. But even he has a joke that they call all South Indians
Madrasi.
Yeah, but if you get triggered, you're giving that person what they wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you just be like, hey,
fuck you,
what the hell? Oh, what? Yeah. But that's also how I've written some of my jokes. Like, I have a joke about, like, oh, I have a small dick. And I'm like, what do you want? You know? Like, that's just how you nullify. And for some reason, those are the jokes where I get the biggest laughs. When there is honesty to it. Dude, this is a joke also now I'm working on. But it's about being a man.
Okay.
You know, about the whole definition and all that. I don't want to do the joke now because there's no audience. I don't want this to turn into some joke. Like,
okay.
No, but I have this thing, dude. How will, I don't know if you've noticed, but when even in cricket or any football, whatever, if the player from the opposite team, if he's really good, even through all your heckling and all of that shit, and that guy just plays the game properly.
He has a focus,
When he's done, when he's leaving, everybody gives a standing fucking ovation even for that dude. Dude, at least when I was growing up, Sachin did it, Ganguly did it, where the opposite team would just be like, God damn, dude, you are unstoppable today. We will respect you, you know, and purely because they kept their cool. More than the the mob mentality, like, oh, we are all, look at us, we are huge.
Yeah.
Those guys, they're the only guys high-fiving each other. Your only your own friends are like, it's more of a circle jerk. But when you stand for something that's honest, it's not just your own people. You see people from other communities, you see people from other professions, other aspects of life, who are also going to be like, yo, like, support you.
Yeah.
And I think that's not happening more because we are all having serious trust issues right now, dude.
What do you mean?
I don't think anyone trusts anyone else.
Okay.
At least if I am wrong, I will be happy. I hope I'm wrong. I'm praying I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fear I have. I really think everyone's having trust issues, especially when I do some of the jokes where I'm like, dude, what more do you?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't want to like. There's one specific incident, but then I don't want to say the incident.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. I sometimes feel like either we are like genuinely the best people in the world, or the most insecure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to jokes.
Yeah.
This is something I never understand. Since when did comedy become equal to intelligence? I don't get that.
Okay.
Because I see a lot of people also get angry at a joke if they don't understand it.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like,
I know there are like, smart jokes and everything. Okay.
no, it's not even a smart joke. It's like,
But they get angry. The audience gets.
yeah, I really have started having issues with like the entitlement that audiences have these days. And I am again now happy to say this openly, purely because I'm no longer running that paranoia of cancel culture.
Yeah.
Where like, first of all, my career is nowhere. What are you going to cancel? Like, it's already nothing. And I'm no longer expecting for like, I mean, if something comes, then good. But like, I'm at least want to tell. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know why I'm treating the phone, the cameras like they're people, but the audiences as well. Whoever's watching.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, but people are becoming a lot more entitled. They're a bit more like, this is just how I do it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, your parents did such a bad job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like I'm jealous. What, you didn't get beaten up or what? Like my mom beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
She beat the shit out of me. And now I sometimes when I go home, purely because everyone's become kind of like so hypersensitive about everything, that my mom is a teacher, okay, and she tells me how like kids, 8th standard, 9th standard kids are now calling her like Kelavi, like in the sense like grandma, shut up. And my mom's going to be 60. I mean, she's 60.
Yeah.
And they're just openly saying it, and my mom's like, I can't do anything to them. I can't say anything to them. Their parents will come. And then we have to pass them, because I don't want to fucking talk to their parents again and be like, why are you making my child look stupid? Because the child is stupid. You have to discipline, do something. I'm not saying beat your kids, but I'm saying at least do research on how your kid, what is the best way to raise your child without becoming an entitled narcissistic monster. Because most of the problems you see now, they are like, dude, it's so weird. Like, I don't want to do that man joke, man, but okay.
You can do
no. This is good suspense, guys. Come watch me live. If you want to cancel me, give me a career first. But no, but like most problems I do see, it's just like, when I say kids, you can be a 40-year-old who's doing it. You're still an entitled kid. Because the internet has now made it a level playing field.
Yeah.
I've seen old
Everyone
people.
has an opinion.
Yeah, everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
So it's now a level playing field. If you behave like a kid, I don't care about your age. You're a kid. And I am a kid. I'm a kid. I'm not saying I'm better than people. I'm just saying, at least have the shame that I do. Okay. At least I hate myself for the way I am. You also hate yourself. I don't like how you're being guilt free. Like I can't handle it. It's too. Like.
No, I get it. So, let's talk about the comedy business in India. Like, I mean, we touched upon it like a little bit initially when you were saying like how it was, how you perceived it back in the day. How's it now? Like, and how is it different from other countries? Like, what do you like and what do you not like about it? But before that, 1 minute. Let me just check my camera. If it's... Oh, wow. See, I knew that.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's okay. We have this, so that's good. I've been checking it from the...
Oh shit! Yeah, well played. Oh god damn.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. Well played. Alright.
So tell me, like, I mean, how is the comedy business in India different from other countries, and what do you like and what do you dislike about it?
I don't know what it's like in other countries because I've never left the country.
No, but then you know because of...
I know
like,
because I've seen. Yeah,
you've seen and you've researched and everything, right? Like, so, I mean...
Indian comedy is way more cutthroat, I think.
Okay.
I'm saying way more only because I don't know what it's like in other places. But in India, if you're a nobody, no matter how long you've been doing, you're not making any money, at least through comedy. You can get writing gigs, you can get, when I say writing gigs for like these shows or for like an ad or like someone else's show or like in Bombay that happens a lot. That's why most comics go to Bombay because there's a lot of money there.
Yeah.
I'm mostly just stand-up. So, you understand, I do at least like, I mean, every day there's like maybe like 40 shows happening in Bangalore
You told
throughout,
me. Yeah.
40 to 50. None of those comics get paid. They make no money from that.
Yeah, you, like, I mean, before this you were even saying, right, like you have an amplifier and a mic and you go to places and you
there are
just
some
perform.
venues I go with an amplifier and a mic.
Yeah.
There are some venues where we just go and like busk. You know, like, hey guys, there are 3 of us. If you have like 10-15 minutes, we'd like to do some jokes. That's how a lot of us survived the pandemic actually. Some of the Bangalore comics really took that initiative forward, and that's where I also met most of the new comics, like a lot of the guys who started during the pandemic. Really hard workers, man, but yeah, it's scary as fuck. Yeah.
So you were saying, like, I mean, like, cutthroat.
It is cutthroat because that's another thing, like, it's India, we have the population, but for English stand-up, it's a very small pool, you know. Indian stand-up is great for any language other than English.
Okay.
And actually, not any language outside of India.
Okay.
Like any Indian language, great. You can thrive.
Yeah. Did you ever want to do it in Tamil or anything?
I did it twice or thrice. I'm very bad at it.
Okay.
Because, like, my Tamil isn't that good.
Okay.
I mean, it's good. It's good conversationally.
Yeah.
But Tamil rhythm in comedy is different from the English rhythm. Like, I can't just be like, Ade joke, like, same joke, I'll just simply tell, but it won't translate. And sometimes in Tamil it sounds cruder.
Yeah.
Like some of the belly jiggle joke.
I don't think you could translate a joke and like have the same impact, right? You will have to write jokes for that language.
Yeah. At least that's how I feel. There are some exceptions though. There are people like Gadel Malay. He's a French comedian who performs in English also. There is Eddie Izzard. Now they perform in like 3 different languages.
Okay.
Same material. And I guess you can do that, but you need a lot more time in the business. Dude, this is something like when I say 9 and all in India, it's like, oh wow. In anywhere outside of India, that is nothing. You are a nobody. How dare you are on a podcast, someone called you, who the fuck are you? That's the level. Indian stand-up is very new. So it's so new that regional languages, this is the first time they're even like, this is me in college. They're like, what, with just a mic you can, this is possible, huh? Like, there. English stand-up though is a small pool. smaller pool.
Yeah.
Because population-wise, we still have a huge market. Like
Yeah.
Veer Das, Kenny, Kanan,
Bro, yeah.
they're killing it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at least I hope they are.
Yeah.
Nice guys. No, they are genuinely sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
At least Kenny and Kanan.
Yeah.
Veer Das, I don't know. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know. I mean, at least like I don't know anything about him, but I do like feel bad that he did get a lot of shit
That
the way
to
he did.
India,
Yeah. Man, that wasn't even like
I know.
what the hell.
Again, that's
again-
where the political thing came up. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just a diversion thing. I think. I don't think like nothing happened out of it. No. Again, he's not cancelled. He just dropped another special. I don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like I think some of the people who are like very vocal about their opinions once in a while should like at least be vocal, continue being vocal, but while you're shouting, just look around and see if anything is happening at least.
Yeah.
You know, like
Is anyone listening to you?
yeah. Otherwise, you just like look really stupid. You know, like actually no, it is happening, but I guess they are liking what is happening because he couldn't perform in Bangalore, and that hurt a little bit
Yeah.
because I was like, man, in Bangalore.
He couldn't get a stage or something. no?
Yeah,
I remember,
that happened.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Mm.
That was scary.
Mm.
Then again, I don't really do political jokes, so I'm happy, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, I do religion jokes, but I do jokes about my own religion.
Yeah.
And Christianity is a minority anyway. So they're like, yeah, bro, you do whatever
What
you
you
want.
want.
So I'm like, yeah. So they have no issues. I think they like me because they're like, oh, he's talking shit about about Christianity. I'm also like, come, bro.
Oh,
Like, that's a joke I do with my. I do with friends. You know, the whole Ghar Vapas
yeah.
thing. You know,
Yeah.
come back home.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll come back. Just I don't care. Dude, I'm also older now. You know,
Yeah.
like I have big problems in life. I'm like, man, my parents are getting old. I have to take care of them.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose faith in the concept of love. What the hell, right? I don't want to. But yeah, I think Indian comedy in that sense, like in English also, it's not that small a pool. There are a lot of English-speaking
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
but
Comparatively, it is.
yeah, but the thing is, even in that English-speaking pool, in that bracket, most of them are either overexposed
Yeah.
because they know Norm, they know
Yeah.
Bird, they know
Yeah.
Chappelle,
Yeah.
they know Louis, they
Yeah.
know. There are a lot of people who even know like more niche comedians
Yeah.
like Gary Shandling and all, and I'm like, wow, Ray Romano, wow, you know that guy, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I've seen Cheers, Frasier. Some of them know Gary Goldman. I'm like, wow, great. You know, have you been to any comedy show in India? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you motherfucker. You know, they don't come because
Yeah.
they think we're shit. And that pisses me off because I'm like, either we have millions of fans who are over appreciating us because they haven't seen the best,
Yeah.
or we have people who've never seen us
Yeah.
because they already think we're shit
Yeah.
because they've seen the best.
Yeah.
You know,
So do you
it's
think, like you mentioned, like this thing was that you don't get paid if you are a nobody in India, like otherwise.
Yeah.
So then, so that is that the reason why you even got into social media, and is there no other way like you can, because what happens in the US, because even there, if people don't know you, then how do they know that your jokes will be good, or like how do they hire you? I mean, how is it different that way?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but my therapist thinks it's because I'm afraid of success.
Okay.
Okay, because she asked me the same thing, like, why aren't you doing
Yeah.
anything to move forward in life?
Uh-huh.
And like, because I'm like, you hear what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not really shitting on people,
Yeah.
but I am shitting on attitudes,
Yeah.
certain attitudes.
Mhm.
It just takes some dumb people
Mhm.
to take that, to not see the difference between attitude
Mm.
and judgment call on people themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not judging anybody,
Yeah.
but this kind of explanation that I have to give
Mm.
for me is very emotionally taxing, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't mean you any harm.
Mhm.
You don't mean me any harm.
Mhm.
Why should I even tell you this?
Mhm.
Like, what do I have to gain from this?
Mhm.
Like, I would much rather just do my jokes
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah.
And even this, I'm only saying because you're asking. But this is also how I feel.
Yeah.
Do you want me to lie
Yeah.
to adjust to the audience's ego?
Uh-huh.
I can't do that. But I also am too afraid to just say this because I don't want to be misunderstood.
Okay.
But then my therapist asked me like, yo, but listen, if you succeed, the moment you succeed, there will be people who will be angry about it.
Yeah.
In the sense, even if they agree with you 100%, you know, jealousy is a normal thing.
Yeah.
Winners do have a target behind their back.
Of course.
That's why you're on top.
Yeah.
Because everybody is trying to get on top.
Yeah.
So the moment you're on top, you have a target at the back. Now, do you have the balls to wear the target on your back or not? And I realized I don't. I am happy, guys. Cancel me. Dude, but it's so relieving. So relieving, you know. Because the entire fear of cancel culture goes away. Because I'm like, I'm not even trying to succeed anymore. I'm just trying to be like, let me do my jokes. You like it, you laugh. You don't like it, don't come. I don't care. And I'm happy. According to my therapist, that's still unhealthy. That's still unhealthy apparently. So I don't know.
All right, and like, so you were mentioning about like this in getting sets like in big or time in like big clubs and like big events and stuff, right? So how hard is it? Like, how hard is it to get time, and like what do you have to, like, how do you get time in these big venues?
By proving you're good. It's right now even harder than before.
Okay.
I mean, in that sense, I got very lucky that I started in a time when Kannan, Kenny, Biswa were not even famous.
Yeah.
Like, they were just starting to pick up.
Yeah.
So I guess I got lucky. Because now in Bangalore, there's a bottleneck.
Okay.
Right? Because apart from Shanki and Anand Ratnam, who's also really funny, the others, none of them have popped out. None of them are like self-sustainable through comedy. So there's already a huge bracket of people, around like, I would say healthy estimate of around maybe 15-20 comics.
Okay.
20 comics who are really good, should be making more, should be more known. Nobody gives a fuck about them. They're not making any money. They're broke.
Why are they not making money? Like, how do you make money in this space otherwise? Like,
you have to become famous.
You have to become famous.
You have to become famous.
So you have to play the social media game.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to market yourself and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to become either a content creator or your comedy has to be. But that's also why within comedians themselves, if you're a comedian who's become famous by just doing political jokes and religious jokes, if you're doing it in a very classy way, in a truly funny way, you're great.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do political jokes, religious jokes, caste jokes, just because it's the hot topic, comedians will destroy you behind your back. Behind your back. Comedians are fucking insecure. I mean, myself included. At least I am. I'll speak for myself. I've never bitched about anyone behind their back. But that's because my mom beat the fuck out of me as a kid. But yeah, it's you have no respect between your peers. And I realized that more than audience validation, I want validation from my peers. Like, if someone is not giving me validation, if I know they're not giving it because they know I want it, then I don't care. But if they're not giving it because I did something wrong, then I will go correct myself. Because I'll be like, bro, I know what you're going through because I'm going through the same thing. We are both eating shit together. You know, so I will make sure I eat my half of the shit correctly. I'm not giving you more. Like, we'll do that. So yeah, in that sense, it's quite healthy, I guess. It's a weird form of healthy, but okay.
So, and like, I mean, let's talk about this. Like, you shared stage with like many artists, many big artists, like, and everything. Who are some of your favorites, and like, do you have any funny or like fun moments or something?
On stage?
On stage, or like,
I don't know.
No?
No, as in, I've had a lot of good moments.
Okay.
Sometimes in a venue that had only 4 or 5 people. I did my hour in Rangasala. In near MG Road, the metro, under the metro they have Rangasala, and I did my hour there in 2016. I had only 13 people in the room. There was this one guy and his girlfriend. they're the most good-looking people in the auditorium, but they want everybody to know that they're the most good-looking people. So they're just like extra loud, getting attention, and I just started shitting on them so much. Like, this has never happened before, but my flatmate, who came for that show, and he was getting pissed that these two were trying to heckle me, but he was keeping quiet because like, man, it's Kjeld's show. But when I started shitting on them so much, the entire crowd was with me. They were laughing. So because everyone else was laughing and clapping and like amping me up so much, my flatmate got so proud. He came and high-fived. And like, I also, I'm so young. I was only 23 at the time, and I was only 23, and 2 years into comedy. And I'm getting everybody's validation. So when my flatmate came to give me a high five, I'm also like, yeah, bro. And I sometimes think about that. Now, and I'm like, oh my god,
what the fuck?
What the fuck did I do? I should have been a professional. What was I doing? But yeah. My flatmate came and he's like, yeah, like. So I have moments like that, like small, but they're not really big. I once opened for Kenny and Good Shepherd, 2 shows back to back. That was really fun. Because there's a joke I self-deprecate about how I look. And then I didn't get a laugh at the joke, so I just looked at the audience and like, hey, I saw you come in, okay? I'm not the only ugly motherfucker here, just like. And when I said that, the crowd just went, ha 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 ha, you're right, bro, we are also ugly. And I was like, yeah, thank you, we're all together, no, we're all. I loved that moment, because it was a gamble. I'm opening for Kenny, and they're all there to see Kenny. And Kenny is clean. Kenny is my mom's, what like what my mom wanted me to be. No, that's actually Shanky. My mom would have preferred Shanky. But Kenny is the proper, it's like Cadbury Dairy Milk, it's like proper sweet, guy. I am like fucking so some pani puri you find in the local street corner, okay? So it's like audiences are hearing. I was afraid, I'm like, man, going to talk about like a dick joke and masturbation. I'm going to make fun of Christianity. Kenny is Christian. His audience might be, I don't know what, but I did the joke, okay? Oh, I had fun. Killed it. I love that set a lot. Then there was another show in that comedy club. That's probably the best laugh for the belly jiggle joke. I had one like they were Tamil also, okay, and they were middle-aged couple. And when I said that, because they are also like, hey, Tamula, dude, when I said the belly jiggle joke, the husband and wife, they're both clapping, okay. But the husband has both his hands clapping and he's laughing so much, he falls on his wife.
Oh shit.
His wife just like fucking pushes him off and then continues clapping. And I was like, yo, that is the best applause break I have ever gotten in my life. To this day. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, that was a great moment.
Awesome, man. Like, I mean, and talk to me about this thing was that, like, how do you, let's talk about OTT right now. Has OTT helped comics get more opportunities now, and like has a break? Like, I mean, they like I was speaking to some writers like who were writing for TVF and stuff, and they were telling me that OTT has helped them get break quite faster compared to how it would have been before back in the day. So, like, I mean, has that helped now, like with this thing also, like with comics and everything also?
Depends on your end goal.
Okay.
Like Suman Kumar, one of my best friends, like very close friend. That dude started as a writer, then was a comic for a while. I mean, he's still a comic, but like then wrote a book.
Okay.
I mean, then his book got published. And throughout that time, he was like a script doctor for movies.
Okay.
And then eventually became the head writer for Family Man. And then now Fuzzy is coming out, and he is directing now his own movie.
Fuck.
Yeah, and like there is growth.
Yeah.
Like any art form, I guess, there is growth. It depends on your end goal.
Okay.
Like what you work on, that's what you're gonna get.
But has OTT and all these things helped, like with stand-up, like with Comic Stan and everything coming out?
Yes, it does. Yes, it has. Without Comic Stan, Indian stand-up would have taken more time. more time to reach where it is. So in that sense, to be honest, Comicstan helped the fuck out of stand-up comedy as at least an industry. Yeah, it has really helped. Every time a season drops, I see the number of new comics, new people trying to be like, I want to do comedy too. And the more there are people coming like that, the more there is an audience also. Because nobody comes alone. They bring people along. So yeah, it has helped. It has helped a lot.
Got it. And like, okay, talk to me about this. Like, we see like brands today like want to be funny to stand out. You've seen all those
Zomato's great. Zomato's
like,
nuts.
How can they be funny? Talk to me about that. Like, what can they do to stand out and to be funny and like things like that? Because you've been a copywriter,
right?
And you work with these things.
I think it's different for me. I can't give advice to brands.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to do what brands are doing.
No, not for you. I'm saying like brands in general, if they have to stand out, like what do you think like works or does not work? Because you have seen that and you have also worked in copy and everything. So
yeah, but in copy I was really bad, man. No, I was. I'm being honest. Oh my God, I'm so horrible. I also, like, on the last day I left, I apologized to my boss. I was like, man, I really hope, I know you took a bet on me, but I hope you didn't lose much. Because it's like, it's just not, I don't know why. I guess, I don't know why. I don't know. But then also last year was kind of like a weird year for me. Like, personally. So yeah, I don't know if I'm actually that bad, because I realize as I'm saying I'm bad, my therapist will be like, why are you saying that? I'm like, okay, maybe I was bad because I didn't have enough mental space to focus. But I was bad. I was bad. I don't know if I can do better now. I'm in a much better place now, but I don't know if I can do better now. But purely because, man, they have an audience that they're trying to build. I am trying to find an audience. Like, they are marketing a product that's not theirs. Like, in the sense, they are like, oh, we are that. This is just how we are. Even though that's nothing more than that. Like, the food, Zomato and the restaurants are completely different things. Zomato is just a facilitator for people to get food. You know, I am the restaurant, I am Zomato, I am the marketing agency for Zomato. You know, it's like, everything is me, so I'm more filtered.
You are the product.
I am the product.
Oh
my God, nobody's buying. Thanks for that extra laugh. This laugh was a pity laugh. Until I was getting good laughs, but this was a... this is something, comics thing, you know, it's apparently, ship into sailors. They get sea legs. You know, like you have to be in the ocean for a while, and then you no longer get nausea, you no longer get seasick and all, because your body has accustomed itself to the sea. And the more you go to sea, apparently you develop sea legs. Right? For comics, they say the laugh years. Right? Depending on the kind of laugh you get, you're like, do I like this laugh? I don't like this laugh. Why did you laugh this particular way? You know, I'm insecure.
Or is that you like overthinking?
Overthink a lot. I overthink a lot. Tonight I'm not going to sleep. Tonight I'll be like, oh my God, I said attitude and all about some people. What if they come and they say my life, my rules? Oh, shit. Bro, your life is your rules, okay? But you're also living in a society. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. So I overthink it, dude. But this is good. I will overthink so much, it'll break and I'll have a joke. I'll be like, have a joke. But,
so, okay, let's talk about content creation right now. As a creator, like, I mean, you are creating on like various channels like YouTube. You have like around 13k subscribers on YouTube.
I have 13,
and like 10k plus on Instagram and everything. So, like, what's one major learning that you've had as a creator?
Expect nothing, create because you want to. Otherwise, you'll always be disappointed. Man, like, so many people. Have you heard people complain about the algorithm? Yeah, everybody complains about that.
I've also seen that, like, people creating for the algorithm and not creating art in itself. Right?
And I have nothing against people who do that. You want to do that, you do that. Like I said, man, in art as a business is really about your goals. What you work on more, that's what you will get. I know I'm doing this whole like oh, my career is nowhere, oh, like I'm no career to cancel and all of that.
Yeah.
But that's also only because clearly, like my therapist said,
your goals are different.
Yeah, my goals are different. Not only that, I'm not putting work into, my goals are the same actually. I want to become famous, I want to do all of that, but I'm not working towards it. Like in the sense, it's what you work towards, that's what you're gonna get.
Got it.
Yeah, so I think it's as simple as that.
So again, like I mean, so your learning is
My what?
You're learning as a creator.
My learning as a creator is, expect nothing.
Okay.
Create because you want to. As long as nobody's stopping you, and if someone is stopping you, then it's an issue. But like clearly, if you're nobody's trying to stop you.
Yeah.
Just create, man. Just create. Just do it because you like it.
Yeah. Don't do it because I mean, like you have to post.
Yeah. And don't do it because you're like, this is what they will like. That person will like. This person will like. Don't. Like. Then who are you? You will.
So
if everybody
creating yourself for yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then don't you think, like, I mean, you have to create for them as well? Like once in a while, like I mean, if you're like, I know creators who will like, I'll create one for them and one for myself.
Yeah, Scorsese said that.
Yeah.
Apparently Martin Scorsese, I like how I'm saying it like I know. I'm like, hey Martin. No, I heard an interview where Martin Scorsese, the famous director, he says that. He says, I create one for myself, one for the audience.
So don't you think, like, I mean, that's a direction, I mean, do you think that's a direction that you would want to take?
Yeah, once I get what I want. Once I first, like, get the respect that I think I'm owed, at least. Like I don't understand why I should, like, I don't want to sell my soul, man. That's what they say, they're selling the soul, no? Because like audiences are very fickle. You know, they'll be there today because you're giving them what they like.
Yeah.
But if you
Tomorrow
ever
they
do,
might like something else.
Yeah, tomorrow they might like something else, or you do something that you like, and they're like, oh, he's lost it, and they move on.
Yeah.
And they say it so casually, and you're like, no, I didn't lose it.
Yeah.
That's also me. This is also me.
Yeah.
Like, this is the whole package. What are you? You know, so that's why I don't care about the algorithm. I don't want to follow anything. I'm just like, let me create.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm happier now. In that sense.
What are some tips that you'd like to give people who want to break into the comedy space? Because you see a lot of youngsters and everyone out there. Like,
the stage is the only real teacher. Don't trust comics.
You're saying this, you're giving them an advice, and you're like, don't trust comics, don't trust you.
Yeah. It's like swimming. You have to learn by yourself. And once you learn also, then you have to learn all the different strokes, you know, and then like you want to correct form and all, like you go to a coach, you know, you don't ask a fellow swimmer like, hey, what's my, you know, or maybe they are, but sportsmen, that's in sports people have a lot more that ethics, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that sportsmanship of like, I mean, I respect you, good, well played, good game. Yeah, that's not there in stand-up. Yeah. It's not there because it's too business-like, you know. It's also another man's. We are living, at least in India, man. I don't know anywhere else, but at least here.
Dog eat dog.
Yeah, it is. Your failure is my success. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, to be honest, like, if you think about it, there's an abundance of, like, I mean, if this person has an audience, you can have the same audience. Like, I mean, it's not like you are owning them exclusively for yourself, right?
Yeah, but this is also where I say, like, comics also, I don't know, man. I've gotten a bit jaded, I guess. Yeah. Nice people. Yeah. No, genuinely, very, very nice people. As long as you're not talking about comedy. There are very few comics I can talk about comedy with. Even though it's all I enjoy talking about.
Yeah.
I love comedy. I love all the different kinds of comedy. I like what they're going for it, how they're getting the laugh. Yeah, I love it. But like I can't talk about it with everybody. Because some people, for them, their egos or their opinions are more important than the comedy. And to them, I'm just like, this is one advice. I have your answer. Yeah. Advice to new open micers, comics. Yeah. Don't drink too much. Okay. Don't, like, alcohol is the worst. Yeah. You know, because once you're drunk, you'll start speaking more. Yeah. You know, and then like you don't understand that the other person is not really talking about comedy anymore. Yeah. They're talking about their own ego. You know, and their own like. how they're trying to be cooler than you or smarter than you or everything. And for some reason, when you're drunk, you're competing also. You're like, look at my ego, bro. Look at my thing. And it's stupid.
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself. You're hurting each other. You're hurting the scene. Just like, shut up, go home, write jokes. I don't know. I'm saying that I sound so cool when I say that. I don't do it. I don't do it. Yeah, right. I don't write what I follow. I don't do what I follow. But,
so okay. Last question. I'm sure you have to keep learning and have to keep to keep up in this space also, right? What do you do? Where do you go to learn? What do you learn? Books, podcasts, videos, whatever.
I'm bad at podcasts. I don't listen to any podcasts.
Okay.
This is the one video
that you will.
I will watch. I'll be like, is my hair all right? Look at this shit. Yeah. I don't care. But I will watch it just because I'll be hoping oh my god, I hope he edited out the part where I said attitudes. I will watch it, but I'm bad at podcasts. I don't listen to because it's.
What else do you do? What do you do to learn and keep up? Then?
It's phase by phase. There are some days where I don't watch anything. I only listen to music. There are some days where I don't write at all and I'm just watching movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes this used to happen more often than it does now, but I used to read a lot more.
Okay.
But now I don't.
Okay.
Actually, since I started comedy, I'm no longer reading.
Okay.
I read, but very less. I say no longer reading because I used to read a lot.
What?
Books.
Okay.
Books.
What?
Mostly fiction.
Got it.
Not science fiction, fiction.
Got it.
Because I don't like self-help books. It's too in your face.
Yeah.
Self-help books are too in your face. They're just bro, do this, and you're like, fuck you. Who are you to tell? You're just your ego. My ego comes in the way. But fiction, you used to see story Ram, and then I should not have said that name. Raj. Guys, I'm talking about a local in here. Anand.
Yeah.
Shit, I should have stuck with Shanky and Anand. Guys, edit that out.
Don't worry about it.
Beep it.
Don't worry
but you see them, and then. Purely because the end point is right, but I just don't want them to be don't call it fiction. Yeah, it's not. Okay, fine, yeah. But I like fiction stories, like Harry Potter or anything, like Game of Thrones, whatever. Because you see a character in that, how he behaves, and you see what he gets later. And you're like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what to do.
Yeah.
And then you see some guys fuck up. And you're like, oh, that's what I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Don't tell me to my face.
Yeah.
I'm Indian. I watch what happens to others and learn that.
From that.
Yeah. If you tell me this is what you do, I'll be like, who are you?
Yeah. Got it, man. Yeah. So it was fun having you, but before we end, we usually play this game called Rapid Brew, wherein I shuffle a few cards, get one question, whatever comes up, you answer in 12 seconds or less.
All right.
Yeah. So don't worry, it's gonna be all chill, very professional.
With
questions.
The LinkedIn logo on it. God
damn.
It's
another.
Now you're just flexing, bro. Yeah, you want to be a comic?
So what's one thing that always makes you smile?
I don't know. What's one thing that always makes me smile?
Yeah.
Shanky being stupid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll see that guy randomly he'll do one flip.
Yeah.
Or he'll do headstand. And I'll be like, alright. Actually, that's not even a smile. That's more like, what makes me smile? I don't know what makes me smile. Cute puppy videos.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gotten obsessed with cooking videos and puppy videos. Yeah, I watch them all the time. Yeah.
Where is your favorite place to dream big?
Terrace. Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Backstreet's Back by the Backstreet Boys. Yeah.
extreme.
You know,
Alright.
yeah, man. Look, all the questions in that so significant.
Yeah.
You know, am I original? Yes. You know, am I sexual? Yes. Am I the only one? Yes. What more do I want in life, dude? What more do you want? That's what makes me smile, bro. That's what, you know. Me being like, yeah. Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah.
So summarize your authentic self in one word.
Summarize my authentic self
In one word.
in one word. Dumbass. Yeah. My dad, I get a lot of this humor from my dad. My dad, he's like, my son. Ugh. And he says it out of love. He's not even like shitting on me. He shits on me out of love. He's just like, why are you like this? And I'm like, oh, yo.
Finish the sentence. Last question. Finish the sentence. I feel connected to my purpose when?
Right after crying. No. I feel connected to my purpose.
Yeah. When?
When people hug me.
Oh.
Yeah, like very rarely it happens, but apparently sometimes I've said something to some people, and they're very happy that I said it, and they don't tell me immediately. They tell me like 2-3 days later.
Yeah.
They come to me and they're like, "Man, I'm happy. Like I'm really happy. I have you in my life." Yeah.
Awesome.
And like because when that happens, it like. Dude, this is something I've told only Shanky and my therapist, but I guess now I'm telling the world. I'm telling everybody. But there's a Mike Tyson interview that I saw where Mike Tyson in the end, you know, it's the end of the interview. He talks about his coach, Cuss, and all that.
Yeah.
And the end of the interview is just this close-up frame of Mike Tyson. And the interviewer asks, if you could ask one last question to your coach, who's now dead, what would it be? And you know, Mike Tyson just looks around for a second and he's like, I'll ask, how did I do? Man, it broke my heart because I'm like, oh my god, because that's the thing I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, am I all right? And when these people come back and they tell me like, I'm glad you had, without me asking, they didn't have to, and they just say that. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm glad I'm still alive. Like, you know, like purpose.
Got it.
I don't know.
Awesome, man. So amazing.
There was so much cheese in the last question answer, you know, so much cheese. You guys can make like fucking pasta out of that. That was like shit.
But yeah, I loved this conversation.
Thank you.
I was cracking up the whole time. It was one of the most enjoyable podcasts that I had.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Actually, it's really cool actually that a guy I performed 6 years ago still remembers my name. God damn, guys. Purpose.
And I know your actual name, Kjeld.
My original name. God damn,
yeah. So, I mean, if people have to find you, where do they find you? What are your
at Kjeld Shreshth. It's now Kelt.
Yeah.
KeltSreshth.
Yeah.
On Instagram. I don't use Twitter.
Perfect.
I don't use Facebook. I'm not on Snapchat. So Insta, guys. Instagram.
Or on YouTube.
Or on YouTube. YouTube is the actual main place. Yeah. Sorry, fuck that. YouTube. Kjeld Shreshth. Kelt. Just put Kelt, guys. Put Kelt comedy. Who else has?
Kjeld comedy.
Yeah.
Amazing. And if you want to find us, you can find Brew Your Market on any of your social media platforms. Hit us up if you have any questions, and see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.
See you guys.